Hey everyone, welcome to another Throwback Thursday. Today we're going to talk about Satanic Bibles and Luciferian Bibles. So, some of these of course are classics, like the Satanic Bible by Anton the V. Of course this is the Companion, Satanic Rituals. And others are a little bit newer. So, why am I doing a video on this? Well, the reason being is I thought that it would be interesting to maybe go through some of these books. Of course, I got the Necronomicon here too. To some people, this is sort of a Bible. Of course, it's a work of fiction, but people still act like it's the real thing. So, yeah. Let's get started. Probably going to start with the oldest ones. So, the first one, of course, no matter how you feel about Anton the V, you cannot, a lot of traditional Satanists would be like, oh, he's a fraud, he was anti-theistic, he's an atheist, and all that. No matter how you feel about him, without him, Satanism really would not be in the spotlight. So, his brand, of course, doesn't appeal to me either. But I'm a Luciferian anyway, so I'm not really worried about it. But there's always some interesting insight here, including the statements, of course. So, it's a classic, no matter how you feel about it, there's not really much I can add to this, honestly. Most people who are on the left-hand path probably own this. Was he a fraudster? Yeah, of course he was. There are people who think that this is genuine devil worship are, of course, missing the point. It's atheists that like black clothes and, pentagrams and geometry and all that. So that's what it is. Then, of course, his follow-up, the Satanic Rituals, which is the Companion, has many rituals in it. This is also probably the first book in our modern time that Jerry... My God, my cat does this all the time. Okay, you move. That brought something from the Yazidis. So, with the Al-Jiwa, Revelation of Meliktas, of course, is in here. This was probably the first book that gave me that, Revelation of Meliktas, which means Peacock King, which is of course, Lucifer, but has also been connected with Zazzle and some other spirit beings, but you know, particularly with the Watchers. But I'll get into this more in depth a little bit later. So, to Lavey classics. Yep. And then, of course, the Necronomicon. You know, it's H.P. Lovecraft kind of a thing going on here about the supposed Book of the Dead. Of course, it is a work of fiction, but there's people that still work with these deities. And most of them are real. I mean, Tiamat, Pazuzu, you know, all these different Choronzon, but then you got some that are more made up, like Cthulhu and some of these other beings that are more primordial and stuff. But whether you actually believe in these beings or not really isn't the point. These beings are archetypes of the underworld, basically, and the abyss. Anyway, so depending on what version of the left-hand path you're following, you're probably not even thinking of them as real beings, really. But basically what it does is it brings together Babylonian lore and kind of creates a Book of the Dead type of thing, you know. And I'm probably going to go more into depth about the Necronomicon in another video, honestly, because it's such an iconic book, and I actually own another version of the Necronomicon that is definitely more superior than this. But this is your standard Simon version, you know. Came out, I believe, in the 70s originally. 1977, yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know, it's a classic. There was a ritual book that came with this, kind of like the Lavey Bible. They kind of copied off of the Satanic Bible in a way by creating a ritual book to go along with it. I don't have it. I didn't really see the point in actually grabbing it, but you know, there are some good things in here. There really is. It's just what you do with it. And people, you know, who are fans of H.P. Lovecraft, of course, are going to gravitate around this. And then I included this, Devil Worship, the Sacred Books and Traditions of the Deities. This book originally came out, I think, in the 1950s. No, 1919. Wow. So this is really, really old. And what this is it's a compiling of various books and texts that are holy to the Yazidi people. The Yazidi people are they're not Arab, they're actually Kurdish. And what has happened is they have faced untold, disgusting persecution at the hands of Muslims. ISIS, for example, just slaughtered thousands of these people in a mass genocide. And the United States, unfortunately, hasn't done enough to protect them because, after all, they're just devil worshippers, right? Wrong. The Kurdish people actually believe that they are descendants of the Watchers. So they are essentially chosen people of Shemyaza, and Zazel, and of course Lucifer, which is Meliktos, peacock god here. And his form, of course, they revere him as a peacock, of course. And they really are an amazing people if you study them. And I do have actually another book about them. And I was thinking about doing a documentary, kind of going in depth more, because there is plenty of footage online that kind of shows them their practice and all that. But they are Gnostic, and they do believe that they do believe in the Demiurge, Yahweh. They believe that he created the world. But they don't necessarily villainize him. Instead, they believe that he actually gave Lucifer dominion over the world. And they don't say his name. They're not permitted to say his name because there's so many people that would kill him if they came out and said, yes, this is what we believe in, and all that. So they're highly secretive people. But it's a beautiful tradition. It goes into the whole creation story, Yahweh basically saying, we grant Meliktos dominion over the earth, and here in their version, Meliktos is actually a servant of Yahweh, so he's not an adversary like the way a lot of Satanists and Luciferians view this. It's actually quite different for them. So, unfortunately, they're just going extinct like crazy because, Muslim extremists are killing them, like they kill Christians and all the other people. But again, this is a YouTube video, so I have to watch what I'm saying. But I think we all know, definitely that's why they're dying off. And I guess I'm gonna go with this. This is Michael Aquino's version of the Satanic Bible. As you can see, his chapters are pretty much the same. It's written for a Temple of Set point of view. Basically, for those who don't know who Michael Aquino is, I assume anybody watching this would know, but Michael Aquino left the Church of Satan in 1975 and formed the Temple of Set. And the Temple of Set, he believed that Set was the oldest version of Satan, basically. So he what he later did was he took concepts of Anton the V's church, but of course he actually believed in a literal Satan, a Set. And he released kind of his own version of it. Basically, it's a good companion book for it. It really is pretty cool. It's got some images. There's the Black House where Lavey lived. It's now been demolished. It's in San Francisco, but unfortunately it got torn down. The church was never able to raise enough money to save it. But yes, it's a very good book. I haven't really gotten a lot into it because I've been kind of busy with other books, but it's definitely interesting version of the Satanic Bible. Michael Aquino, unfortunately, passed away, I think 2019, I think it was, that he passed away. So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but, yeah, pretty cool version of it. Here, so, yep. And then this is Michael Ford's Luciferian version of Luciferianism. This is his Bible. And I did that video about Luciferianism, basically, versus Satanism, and I kind of would like to like this book, but honestly, I'm just shocked that somebody who is supposedly educated in the left-hand path would revere Yahweh as Yaldabaoth, essentially. This is the enemy. This guy is the enemy. This is the true face of the Jewish, Muslim God, essentially. Christian God, even. And there's no reason, really, for a Luciferian to be praying to this guy. This is the guy that created the world and doomed us into this fleshly prison. And he calls us members of his church Archons. And Yaldabaoth was the leader of the Archons. So the fact that he's saying that this is Lucifer is absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. This is the son of Sophia that decided to create the world and trap the spirit into the body. So, anyway, there's so many things that are wrong with Michael Ford, honestly. I can't really go into it, honestly, right now, about all this stuff, but, I got this like a long time ago, and it's just a joke to me, honestly, that he did that, but it is what it is. I mean, he's basically just another Anton the V. He's a Luciferian version of Anton the V. He's an atheist. And, you know, he takes these archetypes of what he calls the adversary. And, you know, I guess if it works for people, it works for people. But, yeah, I try to, I mean, I have some of his, I have quite a few of his books, actually, but, in my opinion, I mean, he's an idiot, basically. So, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, I mean, he's a fraud. He's an idiot, he's a fraud, he's a showman, he's, yeah, it's all kinds of stuff. But, however one feels about him. Now we're going to get into the theistic stuff. You know, the more heavy theistic stuff. So, this is a pretty fun book, The Devil's Bible, by Mayor Mindum Pontifius. God, I'm butchering this name horribly here. Maximus. I'll just call him Maximus here. This is a nice short little read. Basically his version of a Satanic Bible. He also includes the Algebra as well. But he is the founder of the Cathedral of the Black Goat. So that's what these are. And I'm not sure where they are located. I believe they are American. But, yeah, I thought it was a fun book. It was kind of interesting. I got it a long time ago. I've had this book for a while. I think it's out of print, but he still writes things, to my knowledge. And then this is Devil's Disciple by him. And this is a fresh take on Revelations, basically. So, this is a fresh take on Revelations. Basically, Revelations for the Satanist. And about membership and other things. But, you know, and when the goat had loosened the seals and opened the black book, there was silence in hell about this space of half an hour. You know, I saw the four spirits which stood before the one seated upon the throne. So he goes into this whole thing. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the new God, and the book was opened, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the book according to their works. Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting book. They're both pretty interesting. And Lucifer and Quan. This is a very good book. And this is sort of his take on the Quran, and it's got a few other things in it too. But essentially, this author, I have his Studies in the Light book, which I believe is out of print. A lot of these books are out of print, but this is a Luciferian practitioner. He's done a number of books, but they're incredibly hard to get. It's a pretty fun read. Kind of an inversion of Islam in a Luciferian type of way. So, yeah. And his name is Frater Tilling. He's also known as Jason something, I believe. So, yes. And sometime I'll probably do Studies in the Light book review. Let's see, when did this come out here? Yeah, Jason Perdue is his name. Yeah, the Luciferian Quran isn't another Satanic Bible. The world doesn't need another one, and I'm not willing to give it one. This is rather a look into the nature of what we consider right and wrong, exalted, fallen, light, and dark, and also what we're willing to believe about the duality of man. What is righteousness? Much of it is inspired by the actual Quran, but much of it is also written as thoughts that have haunted me for quite some time. So it is a pretty interesting book. And then here's the Kitab. You see, this is out of print, I believe, by Shirk Sasage. They're basically Jesus Christ backwards. I got this from Lulu Press a long time ago. Let's see. Back in 2005. And the first book is the actual Kitab is basically this beautiful story and poem about Satan and the fall from heaven, and he goes into all the way into World War II and how the communists and America, and it was necessary for them to defeat the Nazis and all that. That was the plan all along by the Satan here. Of course, I call him Lucifer, but the author is using a lot of the old Jewish names, including calling the fallen angel Shedon, which is a Jewish term for a specific type of demon. So he does a pretty good job with this. Once again, it's got the Yazidis text in it. The Book of the Lord Satan. So it's got numerous books. I believe it's got the Book of the Law. And here, Bible. Does it? Wait a minute. Revelation. Liber L. Yes. Yes, it does, by Crowley. So it does have the Book of Law in here. I do, by the way, have a copy of the Book of Law by Crowley. I probably should have included it in this video, but I didn't think it was really that necessary. Really. But yeah, if you can get this, I highly advise it. But yes, so this has the Book of Law in it by Aleister Crowley. He actually wrote this after an experience in Egypt. And I believe the whole thing is in here. Yes. Study of this book is forbidden. It is wise to destroy this copy of the first reading. Yeah, of course, it's got this weird proclamation. Destroy the copy before anybody else gets it. Kind of a weird thing. But yeah. It's got all kinds of different books in it. So I highly recommend this book. This is a really, really good book. I mean, I love this book, to be honest with you. So, yes, the Kitab is the, and, I believe I did speak on this before. Johannes Nephasto's Catechism of Lucifer. I included this because this is based off of the Catechism of the Church. And, you know, he's got all these different rules and commandments in here and all that, and prayer, and overall it's just a really good book. So I kind of consider it a Luciferian Bible in a way. So that's why it's in here. If you want more detail about this, you can look for that video. I believe it's the Jeremy Krishner, Johannes Nephasto's video or something. One of my early book review videos. And of course, Jeremy Krishner here. Cosmology. Of course, is a Bible of some sorts. Definitely recommend it. One of my favorite books, Luciferian, Gnostic Luciferianism. So it is available again. There's been 2 reprintings. One is I believe it's Eon Sophia Press, and then of course he's got his own website now, Jeremy Krishner, so you can order a cheaper copy of that if you don't want to pay a large sum of money for the more collectible version. This one I have is older, and it's actually signed by the author. It says Ave Sophia. And over here I have the Infernal Gospel by Rev Cain. This is the guy that wrote the Ars Diabolica book. When I did the video on the Goetia, I spoke about that book. This is his version of a Satanic Bible. It's got different holidays and all that. This book, I have to say, is a pretty good book. It's the chapters are pretty short. Some of them are just one pages. Stuff is pretty interesting. So, what this was is it's a compilation of 3 books that he did, and he just kind of compiled it to the bare necessities, where he's got some rituals in here, and then he's got the Bible, you know, his version of a Satanic Bible in this. But it is an interesting book. It's available on Amazon. You know, can find it in some bookstores too, I imagine, if you live in, you know, a more liberal area that has some good occult stores. I imagine you come across this. So that's certainly not where I live, but I did it. In fact, I got this in Chicago, I believe, at a witchcraft store. It had a humongous left-hand path section, so yeah, you're lucky if you live over there. But and then I just got done reading this one. This is by Nico Quox. I believe that's how you say it. He's from France, and he's known as the Vampire of Paris. Now, where do I start off here with this guy? One of the things that I really liked about this book was his intro, when he pointed out that Satan and Lucifer are not the same, and that a Luciferian is not a Satanist. I thought that was especially good. But I mean, this is like the real. Some things in here, some of the rituals in here are pretty gross. You know, I'm not gonna lie. But basically, it's a lot of taking Satan as your god, and you know, hardcore. Calls it diabolism, also known as devil worship. Basically, is what he's trying to convey it as. Pretty orthodox devil worship type of thing. So to give you guys some background, he was arrested for murder, and he wrote a lot of this while he was in prison. He's out now because prison sentences are actually they're not life sentences like over here. So he was released on parole, and you know, he's out now, and but basically he was a vampire. I mean, he is a vampire still, and he went from digging up you know, I don't know how much I can say on this video, but essentially he cannibalized dead people, bodies. And he has actually written some cannibal cookbooks. And he actually works at a morgue sometimes, and So his stuff is pretty controversial. His publishing house is Serial Pleasures Publishing. So if you want to go check that out, he's got some interesting stuff on there, including memorabilia from serial killers. But he kind of crossed the line into murder finally and killed some guy, and he's been a lifelong practitioner of Satanism, and I don't know if it's a human sacrifice or what. I think he was just, kind of snapped and decided he wanted something fresher than a dead body, maybe. But yeah. Vampire of Paris. Nico Klux. That's his name if you want to look him up. And it wasn't a bad read. It took me 2 days to get through it. I mean, it's so short and simple. Wasn't too bad. What struck me was the cover having the Kumbanda tridents on it. I don't know if he actually practices Kumbanda or not, but it's pretty interesting seeing this. It grabbed my attention, and yeah, I ended up grabbing it. Then we got Devil's Bible here, Traditional Satanism in the Modern World. Pretty gruesome depiction there of Christ upside down there. I have to say I really like this one. She kind of has a mythology section here where there's like a kind of a reinterpretation of some of the Old Testament and holidays as usual, different rituals, usual stuff. And I believe she has the Aljiwa also. Yes. So she includes this as well. Once again, you see text. And then Liber Luciferis, or the Book of Lucifer, which basically is the sayings of Christ in a more kind of supposedly you can use this in a Luciferian type of way. It's basically the sayings of Christ from the New Testament. It has a little bit of the Old Testament too, but it starts off with Latin and then the English translation. So, let's see. So, Lucifer, the bringer of light, then spake Lucifer again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. And then I came down from heaven. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, then ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Lucifer, and shall deceive many. So, forsaken, why hast thou forsaken me? So, and it has an interesting background to it. Of course, it's been a hoax, a fabrication type of thing. But it's interesting. It says that it was written by a guy named Ben Shakur, who walked the earth during the reigns of Julius and Augustus Caesar. So, beginning, how art thou fallen from heaven? I am the first and I am the last. Beside me there is no God. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So this has like various scriptures in it. So I just thought that was interesting too, that you put that in here. But it's a pretty good book. I don't know if it's still in print. I believe I got it off of Lavey. Let me see, when did it come out? 2007. Yeah, so it may not even be in print anymore. But it's an interesting book. And then I got this one, Satanism, A Beginner's Guide to the Religious Worship of Satan and Demons, by Brother Nero. And this is probably the Edgelord's Bible. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. I don't think I recommend this book too much. The controversy of which this espouses immediately kind of, it reminds me of an inverted form of Judaism in a way. It's like Satan's the Old Testament God, almost. I mean, you have calls for animal sacrifice, very pro-life, anti-abortion stance going on here, even in cases of rape and incest. This author tells women they should have a baby. It's sacrilegious to get an abortion if you're raped, even. So I really can't recommend this one, honestly. It's kind of disgusting, to tell you the truth. Even the animal sacrifice, it's not that it's, once again, it's got the Aljiwa in here. It's not so much that it's about animal sacrifice, it's the fact that it's espousing that you go into a pet store and buy rats and hamsters and all that, and sacrifice them. And it's like, if you're going to sacrifice an animal, I mean, at least do a food animal, something that you can eat. But unfortunately, that's what I got from this book, was a kind of an Old Testament. It's like if you took Yahweh and you replaced Yahweh with Samael, or Satan. That's what this book feels to me, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, read it at your own risk. It's definitely got some views that are unpopular in today's world. Definitely. So. And I saved the best for last. Well, it's maybe not the best, but it's an interesting book. This one, I have to say, it didn't add anything new for me. But I enjoyed it. It was basically a rewriting of the Bible, in a way. He starts off with in the beginning, the usurper created nothing because everything was already there from time immemorial. So, and of course, Christ is Lucifer in this, and so it's a pretty entertaining read if that's your kind of thing. Goes into Revelations, and this author has written quite a few books now. I got it off Amazon. I have to say, I was interested with how this was written. Like I said, the guy that wrote The Cathedral of the Black Coat book, he went into Revelations, a satanic version of Revelations already. But the Epistle to the Undead, so it's got all these different things here going on. Various illustrations. Trying to find more of them. But it's definitely a good book for Luciferians. I mean, it feels more Luciferian than Satanic, for sure. It's definitely an interesting book. But basically, it's kind of a rewriting of some of the Old Testament and the New Testament. Epistle to the Damned. The Damned, and goes into him being crucified and all that. So Lightbringer was surrounded by priests and spoke to him, "How long will you keep us in doubt if you are the anti-Messiah? Tell us openly." Lightbringer said to them, "I have told you, and you do not believe." So, goes into that. So yeah, pseudo-apocalypse is what this is called. But, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for something that's like that, it's definitely a good book. So, Biblia Satanic. And his initials basically mean Lucifer. But you can find this on Amazon. It's just an interesting take on the Bible. So I like it. Yeah, so in conclusion, why did I do this video? Well, I think I just wanted to give people an idea, really, about some of the tools that they can use. Maybe, as far as like whether they're looking for a moral system, for Luciferianism or Satanism. But honestly, they're all good to, for the most part. I would say you could probably do without the Bible, the adversary, and of course this one. But of course, this is always going to be the classic. People are always going to go back to this, and so. But so yeah, if you enjoyed this video, just hit like and subscribe, and please feel free to share your thoughts on this. Did you read any of these books? How do you feel about what you're seeing here in this video? If you own any of them, just let me know. So, yes. Thanks for watching.